This time on Beat Up Builds, we're finally finishing the rear seats. These are not the original seats to my truck. These are Ford Focus SVT seats. My driver's seat broke. The frame broke in half. I went online and I found these. The rear seats fold down, very similar to the original seats, and they were $100. So I grabbed them up. I did a bunch of modifications to make them work. They are not bolt-in. They work pretty good, but I do have some issues with the rear seats. So you got your new seats in, you're driving down the road, and you look up in the rear view mirror. And normally there's a little headrest here and another big one here. And it blocks most of the view. I don't really need a rear view mirror, but it does bug me every time I look back there, because this rear seat is probably 4 to 6 inches higher than the front seats, and it just looks goofy. So I'd like to try and get it down lower, and that's what we're going to try and do today. It sounds really simple, but I know it's going to be a big pain in the butt. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with here, and let's just get into it and start working on it. So when I got to the rear seats, I just wanted to get them in there and get them functioning, safe, whatever, just get them in. I laid the seat bottoms on here, and where they bolted to the sheet metal down there, I had to space it out a little bit because they stuck out a little more. Put those on there, and then this is what I did on the back. This is the seat back. I made this little mount for the striker. I've got some thick plates down here, they're like 1/4 inch. I think what I'm going to have to do is start with this plate, since it's shorter, and just drill the topmost hole as high up as I can go to get the seat down and see where that takes us. And I think I'm also going to make the seat lean back a little more. It's standing up straight quite a bit. So I think if I lean it back a little bit more, that'll get me a little bit more as well. Because I think I'm only going to get like 2 inches maximum down here. But possibly if I lean it back, maybe I can get another inch. If I get 3 inches, I mean, at least that's something. I would think that's probably at least 3 inches. So that would be helpful. It would make it look better anyway. So I think I'm going to start trying that out and see where it goes. Alright, I measured the holes out. I offset them a little bit because the left seat rubs on the right seat, looking from the back anyway, so I offset them a little bit to pull it away from the other seat. I marked it out with the calipers, punched it. I'm going to drill it out and see how it works out. I measured it and it's 2 inches higher than what's on here, so at least we're getting 2 inches with this. This is with the middle bracket moved down 2 inches, some wood over here. I took out the striker just so the seat could lean back a little bit more. And I'd say we got 3 to 4 inches would be my guess. I put the middle headrest on just to get a good idea on how it's going to look with the headrests on. And I think I'm happy with that. Now we need to make the other side the same, the other bracket, and then look into the seat bottom and see if that's going to work out for us. And then once we get that figured out on one side, it should be pretty easy to do that on the other side. I tried messing with the seat bottom to see if it would hinge, and I keep knocking the seat back off of the wood. I'm just going to do this other one. I think I like the height. I'm just going to do it and figure out the bottom from there. I'm just going to keep going forward, figuring it out. So let's modify the other side and get that working. I've marked it, scribed it, and center punched it where I need to go. I just kind of marked it in the rust because this is a nice rusty piece. So let's drill these out and get this cut to size. Both of the brackets down shorter so they don't have the other holes on there. It was interfering with stuff. And then I smoothed the edges off. So let's put them in and see if they work. I was able to put the seat bottom down. I shoved it down and it went. But now it's stuck. It won't flip forward. Alright, I got the seat to tip forward now. It's a little tight, but it tips forward, which is fine with me. This little mount here was bent a little bit, and I hit it with a hammer, and that made it go forward a little bit more, and it gave just enough that we needed to be able to get that seat to go forward now. So now that that's all set up, I can start working on the other side. The seat back too, surprisingly, without the striker in there, giving it more room to go back, I guess because we lowered it down, it's honestly leaning about the same it was before. So I might also be able to lean it back a little bit more, and that might also aid with the seat going forward a little bit. But for now, I think I'm just going to move on to the next side. The seat's also like very close to flat, which is awesome. Now I have a ton of room back here if I want to lay those seats down. I've got the driver's side brackets out. I'm going to sand them quick, just get the scale off, shoot some paint on them. I had to modify my middle bracket. These little pivot points, the little ends here, they were hitting. So I cut a little notch out of here, so I'll squirt some paint on that too. And then I'm going to put all this back in. And then the driver's side will be permanent as far as the hinges, and then I'll move over to the passenger side, get those hinges done, and then work on the strikers. Alright, I've done the same on this side, moved the holes up, painted them, so now the seat backs are permanently where they need to go, the bottoms fold up and down like they should. Now I just need to make the striker plates. I started modifying the striker brackets that I already had. I'm not happy with them. I can't really continue modifying them without them looking like garbage. So I went out and I bought a new piece of angle iron. We're going to start fresh. So I got a 2-inch piece of angle iron. This is going to hang off like a little bit, but I think I'm okay with that. So I'm going to cut that out now, drill some holes, and vice grip it up here just like this one is, and see how that's going to work out, see if it'll work out better for us. I've got it clamped on here. It's where I'm pretty happy with it. I sat in the seats. It's a little bit leaned back, but it's not bad. Visibility is great out the back. So I think I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to make some marks and drill some holes. I'm going to drill this first, and then I'm going to transfer them over. That's the plan. And then I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to bolt it all up, make sure it's good, and then I'm going to take it off and paint, grind everything and paint everything. Alright, so I traced around it before I removed it so I could put it back in the same spot. Then I also held it back up here and used a ruler to mark the center line, and then I took it off and I marked the center line in between where the holes that I wanted to make, and I've got the holes 1.5 inches apart. I'm going to drill those out. I'm going to bolt it back up there, make sure it works. Here's the finished product. Looks pretty good. Let's install them. These came out a lot nicer than I thought they were going to look. Looks good. I'm happy enough with it. That's it. We did it. It wasn't that hard. Just took a while. I think I climbed in and out of the back of this thing a million times, and that honestly was the worst part, climbing in and out of this thing. But I'm really happy with how they came out. They don't like stick out a whole bunch. The seats are lean back a bunch. So let's go for a drive, see how it looks. Alright guys, got it all fixed up here. The view is way better out the back. So I'm pretty happy with that. It was actually easier than I thought. The hardest part was just climbing in and out of the back.